provide us this first session of training. Let me put it here. So we will be divided in 3 sessions. This is going to be the first session, like almost of you already know. And on the 22nd of July, we'll be having the second session. So it's going to be on Thursday. And then on the 28th, so next week, we will be hosting the third session. Thank you very much. I see already some messages telling us to have a nice webinar. So these are going to be the 3 sessions that we're going to have, and some topics here that we're going to discuss. Emmanuel will introduce you through all these topics, divided by all the sessions, of course. Well, I think that's all from me. Just a quick reminder for all of you guys who have already been with us in some webinars. You probably already know that we have this live chats. Let me just enable the question and answer mode. So we will have the live chat, and you can ask us everything you want through the session. By the end, we will answer you all the questions. Well, and I think that's it from my part. Emmanuel, enjoy the session.
Hello, good afternoon. Let me share my screen. Can you confirm that you are seeing my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay, good.
You see the Kalipso Studio website.
Okay, good. I opened the website to show a little bit around. I think it's good to know that you can go here, see some tutorials, okay? And you can also see the webinar. We are recording this, and later we will share the video. You can download some samples. So the website is pretty useful if you are start learning how to use Kalipso, and you can register, okay? It's free. This account, it's totally free, just so you can download Kalipso or any other tool. Okay, so explore a little bit. This will help you a lot. Okay, let's go to Kalipso. Let me close my webcam. Okay. I will start a new project with any name. Okay, let's select the default folder, language, sorry. Okay, so we have some topics for today. Multi-language, connecting to a database, and I hope I can manage to squeeze in reading barcodes. Okay, so I will start with a new form. Okay, and let's take it slowly. So let's explore this a little bit. So everything you see here, we call it a control. Okay, so a label, it's a control, input box, it's a control, a button is a control, and this is the form. So this is basically what we will have on our smartphone screen. Okay, and everything that goes inside the form, like this header, it's a control. Okay, so if I double click the control, I have some settings: the color, the background, the type of the letter, the size of the letter. I will not go very deep on this part, but you can. It's pretty intuitive if you ever used Microsoft Word or a similar tool. It's basically the same. And then the interesting part is the actions. Everything you need to program this label, it's here. Okay. You can drag and drop, you can search for the action, so you can do everything here. Let me close this, and let's say you don't know how to use a control. Let me go to this button here, This button in reality it's an image, so an image can act like a button. And let me close the form. I want to use that button to close the form. I can start typing to do autocomplete, okay? But if you don't know the action and you are learning, probably you don't know, you can just drag and drop, okay? Let's save. So now this image will act like a button, and if you click, let me just show, if you click, see, this will close this form. We can try here on the simulator. We have a simulator in Kalipso. The simulator is useful because you have a trace window and a variable. We will see that later. And if I click, oh, sorry, I put clear form instead of close form. Oh, this is a good example. So I make a mistake, right? So I can go here to the trace window. So I make a mistake here and I double click here and will show where I made the mistake. So I can remove this and I want to close the form, not clear the form. Okay, save and let's try again. And now it closed. So let's continue with a little bit about multi-language. So let's go here to project. Okay, language. Let's put our program in English and let's also do it in Portuguese. Okay. So now all the language, all the labels can have two languages. So if I click here on header, and if I click on that little flag, I can translate this. Okay, and I can select the language that I want to test to check if the title or the letters fit in on the. Imagine that it was something like this. Okay, so it doesn't fit. So, but now I can check if it's the perfect fit or not. So it's okay. And you can keep working if you want, and then you can do something like this. You can export all the language. Now we don't have much, but let me show you the file. Okay. Okay. So we have the header and we have the title. So you can translate something here, you can save, and then you can import. The only thing you cannot change is this identifier. And so you can create your application, everything in English, and then you can just send the Excel file to someone to translate. He will return you with everything translated, and then you can import the Excel file, and very quickly you have everything translated to a new language. And how to manage that? Let me create a new form. Okay. And I will create a basic button to start the application in English. You can have a flag, you can have a combo box, you can have multiple ways to do this. Set language to English and show form, the first form. Let me change, this is my first form. Let me change to this, okay? Yes. Now I will copy paste the button, Control C, Control V, and I will put this in Portuguese. Actions. So when you copy a control, everything that is inside that control will always also copy. Now I just need to change to Portuguese, and that's it. Let me put everything on the center, and let me copy this blue. Okay, now it's a little bit better. Let's test again. So if I click on English, I have header, and if I click on Portuguese, I have título. So now we have a multi-language application. It's just this, and I will close this form, and I will move back here to the first form. Okay, so it's very easy to have a multi-language application. And start working. Okay, this was the easy part. So the difficult part is getting data from a database and saving and sending back again. I say difficult because we have to follow a little one or two steps, but when you try the first time, you will see that it's very easy then to work with. Okay, so first thing, I will use an application that comes with Kalipso, that is Communicator. Okay, it's already running, but I will stop it. Communicator is a small program. Communicator is free, so you can download from our website. And let's say you are creating an application for a customer, you can install Communicator on your customer server. You can personalize Communicator with your name and with your logo, so you can fully OEM Communicator. So Communicator, it's free. You can copy, you can sell it if you want, and it's a quite small application. And this application will make the bridge between your application and the database. Okay. Not only that, but Communicator also it's useful for exchanging files, a bit like FTP and other things. Let's see. So first thing, let's configure Communicator. So I'll go here to connections. I have one here. I will delete it. I will start again. I will give it a name. Okay. Typically we use port 9000. But you can choose another port, but this one is not used for any other known program, so it's okay. You can encrypt the communication between your application and Communicator. And then you need to go to permissions and need to create a permission. And here you can see what everything Kalipso with Communicator can do. So we will use a ODBC or OLADB to connect to the database, but you can send, receive files, start a process in the server, execute a command in the shell, check if Communicator is connected or not, and print to the server. Or let's say you want to create an application using Active Directory, you can check the username and password with the Active Directory that is on the system, and so you don't have to replicate everything. Or you can just choose all. So we are learning and we want to test a lot of stuff. Okay. So Communicator is already set up. I will start. Let's take a closer look here. So this is my local IP address. Okay. This is the IP address of my machine. And I want to connect to a database. This is my database. I have here a small table that I want to fetch. Let's go there. So first step, I need to tell my application where is Communicator. I have a small presentation here. It will be something like that. So we have Kalipso, our application, and we need to talk with Communicator to be able to talk with the database. So we need to tell our application where is Communicator. Okay, this is the first step that we need to do. So here, let's give it a name. And I need to fill in the same thing. So if password is the same, with the same encryption method, port is the same, and server IP address If you are using Android, you can't use a Windows name. So I think it's this. Yes. And everything you see here, you can change that later, and you can change that on the fly. Okay, so you don't have to compile a new application to change the IP address. Okay, so we have the communication profile. I think the first step is to make sure this is correct. Let's try that. So I'll create a button to ping. Go here to communications. Where is it? So I can't find what I want. It's here, but let's say I can't find. So, but I know it's ping. So I can start typing here. Okay, ping. And you know, okay, so I don't know exactly what ping will do. Okay, so you can save and you can go here, file, user guide. You can search here, and you can read the documentation, and this will tell you. And if you don't want to keep going back and forward, you can go and open the communication in a browser. Okay, it's quite useful. Please use it. Okay, so when I click that button, this will ping Mesh Communicator, and if the communication is successful or not, that will save a value to a variable. Okay, let's click here. So every time you see a little arrow or 3 dots, you can change things. As you can see, we have 3 types of variables: global, local, and temporary. Global variables are available to the project, to all the forms in the project. Local variables are available to just this form, and on our case, we want to use a temporary variable that is only available on the action click, when we click. Let me rename this to ping. Always good to change the name of the variables. And I can do this a little bit better, but we don't have all day, so I'll just create a message box that will show the result of the variable. This is a quickie and pretty dirty way to debug a program. Okay. Okay, it's true, so it has a connection. Good. Okay, but this is working on the computer. Let's see if this works on my smartphone. So let's go to my smartphone. And I will test on Android. I will erase my client so you can see how much time this will take. And I said something that is key client. What is key client? Key client, it's a small application that we use to run a project that is not yet compiled. So we will install key client, and then we will copy the project to the key client. Think this like key client, it's Word, and the project is your document that you want to see. So it's a nice metaphor. Okay, it's installing, sending the project. Let's see. Okay, so this is the first time we are running. My smartphone is in Portuguese, so let me allow this. Okay. So I want to ping. Okay. 1. So it's running, and we can check Mesh Communicator. We can do that again. Okay. And even we can check the log. See, okay, we already got 3 pings, and 2 of them from my phone. They have the same ID. Okay, so first step, it's done. I can manage and I can reach my Mesh Communicator, so the communication part, it's okay. So let's continue. So now we want to connect to database. We add a connection. I'm not very good with names. I'll use OLEDB, but if you are using ODBC, we have to make sure for one thing. So by default, we are using Communicator 64-bit. And if you want to use an ODBC driver, you should use an ODBC driver for 64-bit. And you should install the ODBC driver on system DSM. Okay. So if I select ODBC, you can check I have this driver. Okay. But I don't need that, so I can use OLEDB. Exit here. Let me copy my details. Device. Username and password. Okay, and to start, I will use an online connection. Okay, we will talk a little bit more about this. Let's make it save. Okay, let's go here, add table. Okay, and we don't get any error, so the communication is okay, and the username and password for the database is okay. So I'll check products and families. You don't need to add all the tables. Please don't do it right away. You can add step by step when you need it. And the same thing goes for the columns. You don't need to add all the columns. Okay, you can add them later. Let's say you are working and now you remember, okay, I need one more column. You can go here, double click the table, columns, refresh, and then you can add everything else. Okay, other thing, you can also check if the connection is running. Okay, it's running and it's okay. Let's create a new form. Let me change that to English. English. Okay. And I will duplicate the forms because I will need more of them. Okay, so first thing we will select products. Create a button. Action. And I want to go from this form to this form. So show form, products. Okay. And I was quite fast and I didn't explain what I was doing here. So I also added close form here. See, I'm closing the form. I'm not opening the first form. Okay. You don't need to open again the first form. Because you didn't close and you don't want to close the first form. So you can just close form and you go back where you were. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is working, but we can go and check that later. Okay, so let's check first. Yes, it's working. Okay, so now I want to show a small table on the screen. I can drag and drop. Okay, create a table control. I don't need everything. This is quite big, like reduce. And I drag it out to the table, but this will not do anything. Let me show you. See, didn't do anything. So I need to create an action to tell the table to go to the database and fetch the data that is there. It's something like, okay, I have the table, and the table is basically a select, and I need to create the execute action like this, okay, to get the data. So I will go to the properties of the form. I will click on the white part, or I can click here. And when I open the form, I want to refresh control my table. Minimize that. Good. I have my data. Let's see on the smartphone. Now it will be a bit faster. This is not installing again the key client, it's just copying the project. Okay, they are here. So it's very easy to get data from the database. You just need to make sure you do the first steps correctly. So getting Wish Communicator configured and getting the communication profile with the same port and same IP address of Wish Communicator. Okay, so let's think about this table. It's just a select. Okay, so if we go here to the simulator again, if I click here on refresh control, you will see that this is just a select. And if we go, to the database, the log of Wish Communicator, we can check the select here. And this is useful for debugging, okay? To make sure that everything is okay and you are getting the data that you really want to get, okay? And if you think about the select, you see that everything will be quite easy. Okay, so we have products, and let me use another form for the families, but now I will make this a little bit different. I will drag and drop the table from the top. And I will go to content, and I will add manually the columns that I want. So I want code, plus name, name, and if I go to the properties of the form, refresh control, okay, let's duplicate this button, families, action. Okay, I want to open basic 2. It's a really bad name. We need to change that. Let's go here again, form. Okay, good, we changed the name. But I don't need to go back to the button and change here, okay? Kalipso will do that for you, so you don't need to worry about it. Let's go to the simulator. Good, we also have the families. So these are 2 different ways to create a table. The other one was just drag and drop. And this one was the manual, a bit more manual, labor intensive way to create a table. Okay, so we have a table of families, and we have a database that has families. So let's filter this database by families. So I'll put a combo box here at the content will come from a database. Database will be, my table will be family. And I want to show on the screen the name of the family, but I want to return. So if I ask what is the value of the combo box, that will return the code of the family. Okay. And this works the same way of the title. So I need to refresh control my combo. Okay, good. So now I have some families to use, but what I want is I want to select, let's say, vegetables, and I want to filter the database here. Let's think how we can do that. If it was a query, will be something like where family equal to this is a string 001, something like that. Okay, so this is what we want. We want to filter that table. So we want to implement this where. So where I can change that. It's quite simple. Go to the table, double click, content. I have here a filter. I can use either Kalipso syntax or string expressions. String expression is exactly the same as the SQL. And I want to say that family will be equal what is returning from my combo box. That's it. It's exactly the same that what we did here. Okay. Let's save. Let's try again. Products. So I don't have anything right now, but if I select vegetables, oh, I forgot one action. Sorry. I need to tell the combo box to refresh my table to see something. Okay. Action. When I change my combo, I want to refresh my table. So products, vegetables. Okay, now I have vegetables. Appetizers, I have appetizers. Meat, I have meat. Okay, good, it's working. And you see, mistakes happen, so it's easy to stop, go back, change, try again. So it's quite easy. And let's say if I want to see everything, let's say I want to see all the products, so I can go here, predefined options, and create one. All. And I will return percentage. If I think in percentage, if I put here percentage, this will not work. Okay. But if I change the equal to like, now I have everything. So I will do the same here. So I'll return the percentage, and where I'm filtering the data, I will change that to like. Okay, average, all. Okay, good. It's working. But let's improve this a little bit. Let's improve the usability of the program a little bit. Let's say when I want to go to the form, I want to see something. Okay, so I want to select all and see the result. Okay. Okay, let's go to the properties of the form and let's see what we have here. So when I open the form, I have refresh control my table. And on the table, it's a select, and on the select, we have where families equal. And in reality, we don't have anything from combo because this action didn't occur. So that's why we don't have anything on the screen. So what I will do, I will change the order. Okay. So now I'm putting values on the combo, and then I'm putting values on the table. But again, the combo has values, but it's don't have any predefined values. So I will set selection, my combo box, 1. So this will select the first option of the combo box, and then I will refresh my table. Okay. So now if I click here, everything will show up on the screen. See? Let's see. So I click the button, open form, the form open, then I refresh control the table, then I select the first option, and then I refresh the table, and will be like percentage because that was the result from the first option on my combo box. Okay. Okay, this is working. And again, I'm not putting this on Android, but this also works here. Let's see. So products, all. See the combo box change a little bit from operating system to operating system, okay? And you can change the color, you can change the size of the letter, you can change the background, everything. You can change everything. Okay. So let's imagine that I want to search for a name. So to search for a name will be something like name. Name like if I start typing, let's say if. Okay, so I want to implement name like some letters, percentage, and I want the result. Okay, let's create an input box here to start typing. And again, the logic will be the same of the combo. So if I type something, I want to show the result. So go here, action, whenever modified. So every time I change something on my input, I want to refresh control my table. Okay, and again, it's the table that will filter the content of the select. Okay, so let's change this to string. Okay, let me show how this works. So I have the family like combo. Okay, combo it's a string, so I need to create some. I forgot the English name for this quote. Exactly. And name like what's inside my input plus double quote, single quote, and let's not forget the percentage. That's it. If I didn't make any mistake. Okay. So now I can filter by family and then by name. Okay. And if you want to order that, you can order the table on the order by. Okay. So it's if you know a little bit of SQL, this is pretty familiar. So now we have products and we can see the families. Let's see some details about the products and let's change something about the products and save them and so on. Okay. Okay. Oops. Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to see some details. Let's drag and drop. Okay, this is just creating a label and an input box. It's not connected to anything. This is just to help me. Okay, name, stock, and that's it. Okay, so when I want to click here, I want to jump here, and I want to see something else besides the stock. Let's see. Date. Okay, so I want to click here and I want to jump here. And let's think that part. So I have some values that I want to show on the screen. And now we, in a database, show some values. Again, it's just a select. It's just a select. So let's do that. So I'll go to the properties of the form. Action. Select. Enter. So I want to select one product, right? So I want the product code to be equal to some value that I want to present. So I'll create a variable code. Okay, so I want my code to be equal to code. Okay, makes sense. And I want to show some data on the screen. Okay, so you can resize this code. I will copy the code to the input code plus date, date plus, it's quite easy to create a select here. And I think it's stock. Yes, put stock. Okay. So now we have to find a way to fill in that variable. So let's go here to the table, double click the table, actions. So when I click the table, I want to select the code and copy that value to the next form. So first I need to know the value of the code where I'm clicking. So table get column value. If I have 0, this will select the line where I am clicking, and I want the column code, and I can put here on this temp in this variable. Okay. And again, we already know how to open a form. That is show form. But we didn't see this option. So advanced options. If I click here, see I have the variable code that we created. So I just have to equal that variable to this. What happened is this will copy the value that is on temporary variable to my local variable of the form product details. Let's try. Okay, so products. If I click on peanuts, I have peanuts. Go back, workshops. It's working. Let's see this closer. So I click it on the table. I select line number 2. It was the code 002. Open the form, copy the value to the variable local code. We can check that here, see? Then I open the form, select equal 002. That will return 1 row and put everything on the screen. Okay. Okay. So now I can select these, show the values over there, but I cannot do anything. let's save this. Action. How can I save this? So it's an update. The product already exists, so it's just an update. So I can go here, database, update. I want to update products where my code equals. We already have the variable on the local variable. And I want to, let's say, just change the stock. Okay, let's make my life easy. Be the same for the other ones. So I'm just saving stock. Let's test. Remember that I told you that we don't close the first form. In reality, we are not closing them. So if I click on products, okay, and if I click workshops, if I change my stock to 55, I'm not validating anything, okay, for now. And if I click save, okay, let's check what happened here. Okay, 55. It saved the value. Let's go back. And if I exit this form, something is not right. I still have 1, 2, 3 on my screen. Let's exit again, go again to products. Now it's correct. Why? Because we are working in a sequential way. We didn't close this form, and I changed something on the product details. And when I update, I need to also update this table. Okay. So an easy way to do that, it's going here to the table, actions, and I just refresh control the table. Okay. So I get the value, I show the form, and we are working here. We are working on the next form. Anytime change something, etc. Then you save and you go back and you do it. Let's try. Products, workshops. Let's change that. Save. Exit, and now it's okay. Let's improve that. Let's imagine that sometimes you want to change values, but sometimes you just want to see them and you don't want to edit them. So how of course we can create a new form for that. But let's reuse this. We already have almost everything here. So we can change the behavior of each control using actions. Okay, so let's first create a menu to decide if we want to edit or if we want to view the details of that row. So show pop-up, edit, option 1, view, option 2. So I will move the refresh control to the bottom. You can use the mouse or you can use the control key and down, 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 down. Show form, the same thing for the first option. And I can copy that, Control C, Control V, and move that to the option number 2. You can add some separators, so your code will be cleaner. And you can also comment your code. Let's say when we show the form, we send a value that we are on view mode, something like that, or number, or whatever you like. And you want to comment that. So you can start typing comment, enter. If I send view, we'll change the controls. Okay, something. So you can comment your code, and please do. Otherwise, it will happen like me. I do something, next day I don't remember anything. And we can test it. Actions. If my variable is equal to view, I want to do something. I want to change the behavior of this and this, the controls. So set property, set properties of the input, all the inputs. And you can change all these properties. So you can change the background, the color, the position, and so on and so on. And you can change the state to not be editable. And again, set property. I think it's this button, and you can change the property to not make it visible. So if you are not editing a value, a button that says save doesn't make much sense, right? And you can change the position of the select, just present the values after changing everything on the screen. This will happen quite fast on Android, but it's better like this. Let's try. Products, units, edit, view, edit. Okay, exactly the same. View, it's different. Okay, so now we reuse a form and on the fly. Okay, let's see how the pop-up shows here. Okay, products. Change that. So edit we saw, and change to view. Okay, it's different. They changed the color, but you can decide what kind of color do you want when it's disabled. Okay, you can decide pretty much everything related to the aspect. Okay, we talked about several things, but we are working online with our database. Okay, so we talked about using Mesh Communicator. Mesh Communicator only works on Windows, and we are connected to a database. And we talked about if you are using ODBC driver on 64, you need to use Mesh Communicator 64. If you need 32, we also have that. But now we need to talk about offline. Okay, so if we are working and if we are working with the database, we need to change data. Okay, when we are working offline, in reality, all the data is over there on the database. You don't have anything stored on your smartphone. And if you lost connection, if you don't have Wi-Fi, or if you don't have 4G or something else, you don't have anything, and you cannot save anything. Okay, and sometimes that's a problem. Let's say you want to work outside, or you want to work on a warehouse, or you want to work on a mine where you don't have Wi-Fi. Or a cell network. So you need to work offline. There are lots of people that need to work offline. So how we can do that? How we can manage to work with the database and keep everything saved on the smartphone and sync the data, let's say when at the end of the day, or in X time, or when you want. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Let's go. Let's go here, database. Remember that I selected this option to be working online, and to work offline, I just remove that. That's it. Okay. Okay, we need to do one more step, but in reality, it's this. Okay. But now, if I go here to products, I don't have anything, right? Because I'm working offline, so I need to create one more step that is syncing the data. Okay. I can check here SQL. So these are my tables that I have offline on my device. If I double click on products, I have 0 records. Okay. The offline table, it's a SQLite database, and the SQLite database, it's just a file. Okay. And if you don't protect your SQLite database here with a password, it's open to the world. So please protect your database. Okay. I went to project, others, database encryption key. Okay, so now we need to create an action to sync the data. Action, communication, synchronize. I will go a little bit deeper here on the settings. Let's just, for now, do this. Let's test. So if I go to products, I don't have anything. If I exit, if I sync, go to products, now I have. Okay. Let's see on the smartphone. Where is it? Sorry. I was drinking some water. Sorry. Okay, products. I don't have anything. And if I sync, and if I put my smartphone on airplane mode, so I don't have any connection, if I go to products, I have everything here. See? Okay. Okay, so now we can work offline. Okay. We can sync the data with the database. If I check the simulator, if I go here, products, now you can see that basically we have a copy of everything from the main database, and that can be good and that can be a problem. We will see that later. But now we are just using the data in one direction. Okay, so we are just copying the data to the smartphone. Let me show you. So I will change the quantity here to something. Okay. So exit. Okay. If I check my local database that is inside my device, I change the stock. If I check my database here, I didn't change yet the stock. But if I sync, if I go back, I have the old value. So we are just synchronizing the data in one direction. We need to do that in both directions. Let's exit. Database, products. See, we have send and receive. This is from the perspective of Mesh Communicator. So we are sending information to the smartphone and we are receiving information to the database. Okay. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Okay. So we are working offline. So we have the action to PDA and to PC. To PC, it's sending information to the server. To PDA, sending information to the smartphone. Okay. Let's go to the action sync, synchronize to PC. Okay, we're sending products to PDA. We are also receiving. Okay, so products. Let's change peanuts, edit. One, save, exit. For now, everything is still working offline. Everything is still just in the smartphone. Again, this didn't change to 111. And go back, and now I sync. And now I have the value on the server. Okay, now the value, it's synchronous, sync and equal on both sides. Okay, this works very well, but you need to be careful. So imagine that you have two persons working at the same time outside, offline, and they are working on the same table. You need to be careful if they are not destroying the same the same table. Let's say user A changed the stock of Coca-Cola, and let's say user B will also change the stock of Coca-Cola. So if they synchronize, you don't know which one is right, but you can, let's say user A will only change values from his warehouse, and user B will only change values from his warehouse. So they don't mix. So that's not a problem. And you can filter that information when you are synchronization occurs, and how we can do that. And this is very important. If you are using the sync, we are not filtering anything that we are receiving, and that's okay. I have a quite small database. So, but imagine that you have 2 million records here. You don't want that. You probably just want the active products. Or let's say you have a delivery company, and the delivery guy will sync the data. Probably he just need the data for that day, for the boxes that he needs to deliver for that day. It doesn't need all delivered from all the vans from all the time. Okay, just for that day. So let's filter the data that I'm receiving by a small flag that I have here. Flag. So you can do that. You can go here, products, and I want to filter my data where my flag is equal 1. So if I sync, now I only have 2 products, okay? Because it's the only product that have flag number 1, and that filter can be dynamic too. Every time you see 3 little dots, everything can be dynamic. Over there, see? So we can put a variable. Let's use a variable. Let's or a combo box. Okay. Set select. Oops. Set selection. Next one. Okay. And on sync. That's it. So if I change this to 0, okay, now I have these products. And if I change that to 1 and sync again, I have the other products. Okay, so filters are good if you are working offline. Again, you don't need to receive all the data that you have on your main server. Okay, you don't want that. So this is quite important when you are working offline. And again, you need to be careful if you are working if you have two users on the same table editing the same data. You need to filter that. Okay. Okay, so we are good, and I still have time to talk about barcoding. Let me close that. Close that. Let's create a new form here. Okay. And a new you can have buttons, but you can have image. Let's use an image as a button. Let's say barcode native. Oops. With a background, with a border, with same color, rounded corners, text on the center. Let's change, put this bigger. Probably was too big. But you see, now it's like a button, but it's an image, but it's more flexible. You can change the borders, you can put rounded corners here. You can make this a little bit more transparent, and so on. Okay, let's go to barcodes. Double click here, show form, barcode native. Okay, so when I open this form, I want to read the barcode. Okay, we have several ways to read the barcode with Kalipso. You can use the native way, Wedge way, that is keyboard emulation, and you can use the camera of the smartphone. Please don't use that to make an inventory. It will be quite slow. But you can. But if it's not too many articles, you can do that. But it's not that goal to use the camera. And the native way, it's the best way to use. And it's because you are getting the variables, the values by variables. Let's take a look. So I'll go here, double click, actions. This barcode, and we have the native SDK from Zebra, Honeywell, CipherLab, and so on. Okay, so we have the native SDK of all these brands. So if you are working with one of them, you can use the actions to scan the barcode. But let's say your customer today bought Zebra, but tomorrow bought Honeywell, and you want your application to work with both of the device. Or even if your customer still has a Zebra device with Windows Mobile, and now we bought CipherLab with Android, okay? And you can make the same application work on the same way on both devices. And how can manage that? Use the generic actions, okay? Barcode connect when you open the form, barcode disconnect when you close the form, and barcode enable after you use the action barcode connect. And when we use the barcode enable, we get two values: the data that we are reading and the type of barcode that we are reading. Let's see. Type of barcode. So I think we have all the types of barcodes available to read, and that will identify the type of barcode. This is useful if you have multiple barcodes on the same box that you are, let's say, trying to make an inventory. Sometimes you have the serial number, and sometimes you have a normal barcode EIN13 to retail, okay? But you want to make an inventory, so you don't want to read the serial number, you want to read the EIN13. So you can use that to filter the information that you are trying to read, okay? Let's save these variables. Okay. And now I will add an event barcode scan. So when my scanner reads a valid barcode, these variables are already filled in with the data, and now I can show the values. I'll do a message box. It's the most easy way. Okay. So now I cannot use the simulator. My computer doesn't have a barcode reader. Okay, so now I'm not using my smartphone. I'm using an Android device with the integrated barcode reader. Let me show you. Okay. Okay, I don't have anything, so I'll read the barcode here. Okay. So this is type 13. Let's see, other one. This was the bottle of water that tried to kill me. Okay. So it's quite easy to read a barcode and present the values on the screen. Let's see, I have a book here. Okay. So let's make something useful out of it. So, okay, let's create a local database. Why I want to create a local database? So we talked about online tables, offline tables, and now I will create a local database. It is a database that will just be inside your device. Columns, let's barcode type, and quantity will be numeric. This will be my key. I don't need to worry about the size. I can do the same thing, drag and drop here the table. Okay. Okay. So now every time I read something, I want to add to the table. Let's go here. And I want to increase the quantity. So I need first to check if I have that barcode on my database. If I have, I want to increase the quantity. If I don't have, I will just insert. So select, oops, not sleep, select on my database barcode. Let's check if the barcode is there. Let me grab my quantity. Okay. If I have some special keywords here, my record count equals 1. So I did have something there. So if the record count is 1, I will just update the quantity. So update inventory quantity will be quantity plus 1, where my barcode equals to my quantity. If it's the first time I'm reading the barcode and I'm inserting the barcode on the database, will be just an insert. Barcode type, and quantity, it's 1. And last, let's update what's on the screen. And I can also do that when I enter the form. As you can see, I don't have any input on my screen. There is no way a user can change the barcode that just read, so it's pretty reliable. I can grab some barcodes examples. Okay, so let's see the killer water bottle. This one. Okay, something is not right. I'm not editing the quantity correctly. So I made a mistake. Let's see what was the mistake. So I'm selecting, okay, and I'm putting the variable quantity over there. For some reason, it's not incrementing this. I don't know why. Let me try one thing. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Emmanuel,
See.
interrupt you. We have here some inputs in the chat, and some people are saying that the mistake was barcode equals quantity in the where statement. So you might check it out.
Sorry, I was speaking in. Oh yes, that's it.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't need that. Let me just put back again the +1. Thank you. Not the simulator. Okay. Oops. Not this one. Now it's good. Thank you. And the rest. And some you are not seeing anything. Sorry. See. Sometimes people ask if Kalipso can read 2D. It's not a question of if Kalipso can read. It's a question of your hardware can read. Okay, so now I just read a QR code. Now data metrics, PDF 417. So it depends if your machine can read or not 2D barcodes. Okay. This is one way to use the barcode reader, the native way. If I strongly recommend, because you can be pretty precise what you want to read or not, and you can even do something like this. You can, in some screens, just read AIN 13, for instance. Oops. Set selection. Sorry. Where is barcode? Set enable symbol, and you select just the AIN 13. And other screens, you can want to read everything. So you have full control of what you want to read on the scanner. When I select the AIN 13, I can keep reading. I don't know if I can show my webcam. Let me see. At the same time, okay. So I have here a book with a bunch of 2D barcodes. And if I select AIN 13, I can keep all day trying to read this, and I will not read anything. Okay, it's like it's blind. And if I show a book, okay, it read. And again, if I press everything, I can read the rest of the barcodes. So you can control everything with the native scanner. Okay, but sometimes we don't have that possibility. So what can we do? We can use the Wedge mode, and you can use any scanner. If you buy something new from AliExpress or something, you can use. Okay, because every scanner has a wedge way, so you can use with Kalipso. I create a new form here. Okay, but now I need an input box. Okay, and I'll use the same table. Oh, I can copy this one. It's already the correct size. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now I'm using the input to read the value and then adding to the table. I don't need any barcode enable. I don't need any barcode disable. I just need set focus on the input. Okay, and I will copy the code. Okay, I will double click here on the input actions. add an event key, and I will capture the enter key. So the scanner will read the barcode, and then we'll send the enter key. You can configure that on the settings of your scanner. I'm pretty sure they all have something like that. And after sending the enter, we will use that here. So first thing, I want to copy the value that is on the screen, set value, from the screen to my global variable barcode. Okay. So now the value is safe. I can paste the code that we already written. The insert, I will not use the barcode type because I cannot get the barcode type from the keyboard emulation, at least in an easy way. And then, so I copy the value to the barcode, and then I need to clear set value, clear the input. Okay. And set focus again to the input. And let's not forget to refresh the tape. And that's it. Let me just use this header to delete my table. And when I enter, refresh control my table. Let's change the name. 05 Wedge. Change this to. Okay. Wedge, oops. Delete that. Oh, I made a mistake. I forgot to add a close button here. We are working with Android. You can also use the back button of Android. Okay. So let's read the keyword bottle. See, it's quite fast, but we read something to the screen, to the input, and then we copy the value and we set the value to the database. Okay, works the same way. We have a little bit less control, but works with any reader, or if you are making an application for a desktop computer and you have a USB reader, that is the perfect way to do it. Or let's say you have a forklift and you have a vehicle PC on the forklift, or you have a shop floor application on a factory. I don't know. The possibilities are really vast. Okay. And let's use the camera, because sometimes it's also useful too. And I will duplicate this. I'm just reusing the form. Let's use here. Okay, with the camera, we also don't need any of these, and we don't need these, and we don't need that, but I will need the code. So we need just the button. Let's use an icon. I didn't show how to use an icon. We have a bunch of icons that you can use free. You can add your own icons. If you want to add your own icons, you just need to go to the installation folder, Communicator, Kalipso, Designer. Here, icons. You create a new folder. You drag and drop some icons like these ones. Okay, and that's it. The icons are in vector mode, SVG. So I recommend. So let's use this one. I recommend to put a bigger icon and then reduce the size. Will look much better. Okay, so double click the image, and now I just need the action barcode scan. And that's it. And now to add to the table, I will just copy that code. In reality, I'm cutting the code and adding here. That's it. Let's click here on Wedge. Change the camera. Okay. So if I click on plus, let me delete that. I forgot again the back button. Okay. See, when it's low quality, sometimes it takes a little bit or never. Let's see how that works. Okay. So using the camera depends of the quality of the camera, how fast the camera can focus. The camera is really good with 2D barcodes, but with 1D it's a bit slow. Okay. If you want to use the camera and be faster, you can also use the Cortex scan engine, but the Cortex scan engine has a license and you need to talk with them to ask the value of the license, but it's much faster. Believe me, it's much faster than just the barcode scan. But it's as an extra cost, and I think it's by device. Okay, so I forgot one little thing that I forgot to mention here regarding when we are reading, and that was keyboards. I forgot that topic. So when you are introducing a stock or when you are introducing a name, you want to introduce the stock with the correct keyboard. Okay, so you should call the keyboard numeric. Okay, you can do that. And if you need to add a date, you can call a calendar. Keyboard, calendar. Okay. So you don't need to implement a full calendar. You can do that with the action keyboard. That will bring the calendar from the operating system. So let me just show you. Products. Oh, I have a different device here. So view. Oh, view. I cannot change anything. So edit. So if I click stock, I have a numeric keyboard. And if I click calendar, I have a calendar. So if you don't want to show the keyboard from the operating system, you can prevent the automatically display from the operating system. So you can change that. And that will just bring the keyboard that you have predefined. See, much smoother now. Okay. So I think we can have a quick Q&A.
Hello again, Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. So we are done for the barcode part as well.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much, and thank you all. It's really thankful that almost everyone from the beginning is here. So it means that this first session was really useful for you guys. So no more time to lose. We are already at 1 hour and a half. So let's stick to the time. And we will start with the question and answers. We got several questions, so let's try to be as fast as possible. Emmanuel, I talked with Bruno. Bruno is from our sales manager. He was also organizing this session with us, and we said that it would be also nice if we could then send a document with all the questions. So I will try to resume then. By the end, I will try to resume your answers. But if I need any help for you,
yes, I will reply them.
Yeah, so
written. Okay.
It will be nice as well. So for you all to know that we will send you a document with all the questions and answers, of course. So first question, let's put it here. So, is it possible to implement a two-click event on loopers? We didn't talk about loopers yet.
We didn't talk about loopers, but it's it's something that I want to approach next session.
Yeah. So let's do like this.
But let me just ask him what is two-click event for him. It's this.
Wait, we're not watching your screen. Yeah, we are seeing it now.
Okay. Let me. The two-click. It's when you double click. It's the double click action, or what is? If you can clarify that for me. It's
not click, but double click action. Yes, double click action.
On the looper, I think you can. Let me just. I have to check. But you want to click on the looper, or you want, because we need to specify and distinct something, and
let's do it this way, Manuel, because it's something that we didn't talk yet. I think it will be better. We will keep the question, and we will answer it by written. Okay.
Just one thing. Just let me just tell one thing, because we can have,
of course,
controls inside the looper, and the controls can have double click, okay, or right click. It's tap and hold, because on Android there's not double click. It's tap and hold, and the looper it can also have the tap and hold.
The tap and hold.
Okay, so I don't know if this answers the question. You can have
it's
both.
in a label inside the looper. So, okay.
Let's go to the second question.
Yeah, well, let's move on. So, so this question does not matter if the operative system is iOS or Android. This was, I believe, this question was related to the when you were talking about the multi-language part.
Yes, it doesn't matter if you are working with iOS or Android. In reality, everything you do in Kalipso, the only thing that you need to pay attention, and we didn't talk that yet, it's regarding files. But if you follow a very simple step, that is, let's say I want to export everything from the table that I have on the screen. Okay, let's create here a button to export, just to talk about files. Okay, we have an action that is file export from table, and I will select the products, and I will not filter anything, just to show you. And I will separate the values with these. And an easy way to make the application compatible with Windows and Android/iOS, because Android and iOS are a Unix file system, it's just to use the specific keyword that we have. We have specific keywords, and I recommend to use the key client that is somewhere here. Where is it? Key folder. Sorry, P folder. It's project folder. Where is it? It's here.
Up there.
P folder. Okay, so you are saying that you want to save to the project folder. It's a folder that is inside your project, and it doesn't matter if it's Windows or if it's Android. And then you add the bar that tells that it's a directory. And because we are separating the bar from P folder, Kalipso will change this from left to right if he's using Windows or if he's using iOS and Android. And then you can specify the name of your file. And if you follow these two steps, P folder plus the bar, your application is as universal as possible. Okay. As you can see, whoops, this is completely off. I can show you that the P folder will autocomplete with a specific folder on the operating system. We can see that on the trace window here. See? If I go there, I have the file that we just created. Okay. So yes, the Kalipso, if this is, I think it is just the only thing that you need to be careful regarding iOS. There are some action that doesn't work on iOS, like the barcode action, because Zebra doesn't make any iOS device. They make accessories, but they don't make a Zebra iOS device. But you can check that every time you have a question regarding some action, if it works on Android or not. You can go here, search the action, and you have here if the action will work on a specific operating system or not. Let me show you. I think NFC. What is it? This one, for instance, this Internet just for Windows. See, the other icons are without color. Next question.
Okay, great. The next question. The translations can be loaded from an SQL database or just through the Excel file?
To import them, you can only import them from the Excel file. But you can export from a SQL table to an Excel file and then import them. I think was let me see. If the data that you have on the screen here on the text is coming from a database, you can select, okay, I'm selecting the column English and I'll put the value English, and I'm selecting the column Portuguese and I'm putting the value Portuguese. But then you need to select everything every time you load the form. So I think it will not be very practical. I think it's easy just to export everything to an Excel file and import them. Okay.
Great. Let's move on to the next question. There is any customized guide of Mish? I already sent the documentation guide of Mish. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Emmanuel.
No, we have a new documentation for Mish Communicator that you can send the link, and inside the Mish Communicator OEM folder, you can find all the definitions that you want to change. Basically, it's this. Okay, it's name and the logo that you can change.
Great. So that's okay. Can you repeat the folder where it is, please?
Yes. When you install Kalipso, you have two folders: the Kalipso and Mish Communicator. Inside Mish Communicator, you have OEM folder.
Okay.
And then you have OEM and user products that you can predefine.
Okay, great. Let's then move to the next question.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, when we are working with Mish Communicator, you can install Mish Communicator as a service, okay? And then you don't need to worry about if your server reboots or not, and so on. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
No worries. I think that we're going to have more questions about Mish Communicator, so you probably can explain it better. But let's move. Is there a way to minimize windows without minimizing the entire project?
What, inside the designer here?
I believe so.
You can minimize them. They will go here.
Okay.
Then you can open here.
Great. So next.
Oh, let me show you one thing. Sometimes people do this. They put the form maximized, and then they didn't know they can do this. They can go here and go back again.
Great. So next question. This one is regarding communications. What's better? ODBC or OLEDB?
It's the same. It's not the same, but you get the same results. If one is faster or not, to be honest, I have no idea. But that's not the problem. The problem is that sometimes there are some databases that only have ODBC driver, so you can only use that. So in my opinion, OLEDB, it's easier to configure. It's one step less. You don't need to worry about the driver. But sometimes you don't have that option. So I don't know if there is any study that shows if one is faster than the other or not. But I believe it's the same.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. How to access Mish from a field app? What does it need?
Oh, I know what you are asking. So let me talk about. So we were working here on my computer, on my network. So everything was inside my network. So my IP address was 192.168.1.148, and my cell phone probably have another IP address similar to this. How you can manage to go outside? So you need to configure your router, yes, and you need a fixed IP address or a no DNS. So you will change the communication profile to let's say an address, URL address, something like OEP something. Okay, something like that. And then you change your settings of your router for everything that comes from port 9000 goes to this IP address. So I think that's the easy way to do it. I think that answers the question. João?
Yeah. Sorry. Hello.
See. Hello.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Sorry.
Next question.
Sorry. I thought you were still explaining.
No.
But let's move on. Is it possible to partially refresh? So this question is again about loopers. Emmanuel, like I told you before, because we didn't talk about it yet. We can send it written, and
yes, I can reply.
We can return it again in the next session when we talk about loopers.
And the answer for the question is yes, and then I will tell.
Okay, so let's move to the next question. Is it possible a direct SQL connection without using mesh communicator?
No. You need to use mesh communicator. You can. I don't know if I'm. You can. You need to use mesh communicator. Okay. But you can query using SQL Advanced. Okay, if you don't want to use our actions for select, insert, delete, and update, you can type your own query here the same way you do the query for the database. But yes, you need to use mesh communicator because mesh communicator will create a abstraction layer for iOS and for Android. That's why we need mesh communicator, unless you are using a web service. If you are using a web service, in that case, you don't need mesh communicator. But we didn't talk today about web services. I will talk next session about web service.
Okay, great. So let's move on. Is it possible to load a database to the device for offline operations?
Yes, we did that. I don't know if he asked this before I showed the offline method, but yes, that's the goal of offline. So you synchronize the data, and all the data that you have on the database will go to the device. The only thing I didn't explain was here on the action synchronize. I have two different methods, online and file transfer. Okay, they will do the same thing, but file transfer will be more efficient if you have a big amount of data. In reality, what this will do is mesh communicator will talk with the database, will gather all the data inside mesh communicator, will create a file, send the file to the device, and then the device will open the file and load all the content to the internal database. But the final result will be the same. What option do I recommend? Try with your setup and see what's best for you, because this depends from so many things: the speed of the connection, the speed of the database, the speed of the server, the speed of your device, the quantity of the data that you are transferring. If it's big amounts of data, probably file transfer will be faster and more reliable than if it's small amounts of data online. probably will be faster. But you need to try for yourself. It depends so many, but at least you have the option. Okay.
Great.
I think it's that.
So let's move to the next question. Is step-by-step debugging possible, like in Visual Studio, for example?
Yes. Yes. When you go here, see, we have all the actions, and if you want, you can do two things. You can create. Where is it? You can create breaks. Okay. So you can see what you are doing, and steps. And when you are on the simulator, you can stop and you can start again. Okay, so you can go step by step. Okay.
Great.
See the step, continue, cancel. If we place
so it's possible
a break.
to
Yes,
debug
it's possible.
everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Let's move on to the next question. When you create a form based on the database table in data link mode, is it possible to define the query for the loaded data when opening the form?
When you create a form based on the database table, you are creating. Sorry. You are creating this on data link. It's this that you are creating.
I don't think we are seeing your screen. Sorry. We're looking at it now.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, something like that. And let me see the question, please. João, I need your help.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Sorry,
it's
technical
possible to define the query for the loaded data when opening the form. No. No, you can't. Don't use this method. So use the regular one, and then you can use the select that I used. So don't use this method. Delete that. I can delete that. Here, and use this one. Use the SQL statement, and you have much more control. Okay, if you use the SQL statement.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the next.
Let me just show you. When you use this, you already get a select when opening form. Next question. Next question.
Okay. So sorry. Well, I was having technical problems. Now I'm not having any more. But I thought I was going to lose the connection, but I'm not. Okay. I
think it's not possible to change to offline online in runtime mode. Correct? Yes, that's correct. You need to decide if you want to use that table in offline or that table in online mode before you compile the application. What normally people think that an application is online, that is, let's say, Gmail. Okay, Gmail, it's not an online application from our point of view. This is an offline, because if I put it on airplane mode, and if I exit the application, exit everything, if I go back again, I have some data here. Okay, this is an offline application. This is not online. This is the how we can manage that so you can feel that this is online. In reality, these are creating a task. We didn't talk about tasks. These are creating a task that is checking the email from time to time. Okay, So that's in reality what people think that is an online application. It's not. It's just an offline application with a task to synchronize from, let's say, every minute or something.
Great.
Okay. Next question.
Let's move. So I found there is a lot of different barcode scanner configurations. Example given: Honeywell, Zebra, etc. But is there a one-size-fits-all action? And if so, why are there so many specific barcode scanners? I think we talked about this, but it's always good.
Yes, I can talk again. Why there are so many? Well, so it's open market, so each brand decides to make its own hardware with its own specifications and so on. So it's an open market, and we managed to create generic actions like this one on top. And this one, when I do barcode connect, what happens is that this action will try the Zebra. It's a Zebra, no. Okay, so it's an Honeywell, no. It's a Cipher, no. Okay, so it's an Intermec, so I'll use the Intermec SDK. In reality, what we'll try all the SDK to use a correct one, unless we don't find one, and then we give an error message. But yes, you can use the generic actions to work with any scanner that is available here. Okay, so if it comes a new brand and that new brand it's not here, the generic action will not work. On that case, you need to use Wedge Mode. Okay.
Okay. So next question: how to change sound when scanning using WAV file?
You can play a sound. Play sound. System beat or WAV file. Yeah.
And you choose the sound that you wish.
Yes. That's it. Probably, if the device will emit two sounds, you'll need to go to the settings of the device and remove the sound of the device, and then this will play any sound you like.
Great.
Next question.
So next question. In any topic, are we going to talk about multi-threading and critical sections?
Yes. When I talk about, after I talk about global action sets, I will talk about multi-threading and critical sessions.
Great. So I think this question was from Agostinho. Agostinho, don't miss the next sessions, and we will certainly talk about it. Next question: K client for version 5.
What's the question?
I think the person is asking how can we obtain it, probably.
So when you test on device, that will install Key Client. If you want to do it manually, you can go Communicator, Kalipso Client, install on Android, and you can copy this file to your Android device. Or you can go to Google Store.
I think you're on airplane mode.
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, Manuel. I got here another insight. It's for iOS.
Oh, for iOS. Okay, that's a good question. Difficult to answer. So Apple decides that don't allow us to have Key Client on Apple Store. You can find Key Client for version 4, but they rejected Key Client version 5 because they tell that we allow users to run application without Apple approval, and that's kind of true. So we cannot complain about that. So if you want, and I strongly recommend to try your project before deploying to iOS, the only way to do that, you need to digital sign Key Client for iOS for your device. Okay, and that process it's not the most easiest one, but we have everything documented here. Please follow step by step. Don't skip steps. Okay. But basically, you need the Apple developer account, and then you need to create a development certificate using Xcode. And then you need to create a mobile provision certificate that you copy for your Kalipso. And here, power provision. And then you generate, okay, the key client that will create a folder or zip file, You copy the zip file, and this is another part. This is a bit difficult. You need a Macintosh for this step. You need to copy your IPA file, key client IPA file to your Macintosh. You need to certify that IPA file, and only after that you can install the IPA file with the key client on your device. Okay, so yes, you can do it. You need more steps to do that. You need a Mac, Apple developer account, and of course an iOS device. But these are Apple rules, so you need to comply with them. Okay, regarding this documentation, just go click here, test on iOS, and click here, okay? Before, and read the documentation, just go here, key client, and we have the documentation here, okay?
Great. So let's move to the next question. Is it possible to make a separator dynamic?
A separator of what? Can you elaborate that a little bit?
I believe the question was asked by Freak.
Yes.
Could you please elaborate the question so that we can try to answer it to it better? Thank you.
Skip for the next question.
Yeah. Meanwhile, let's go to the. I think he was asking about exporting files.
Yes. So yes.
So it's possible.
I think I know what he's asking. He's probably asking about this, the field separator.
Mm-hmm.
So again, 3 dots over there, so it's completely dynamic. So you can have a combo box on the screen, and the user can select what kind of separator he wants from to use on the export file. So yes.
Okay, great. So let's move on.
Yes, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, but I have. I'm not 100% sure if that's possible with Android, with Android Tel.
Export file.
But you can. What's the action? The action is it's select. No, it's. You want to save a file, right? What was the question? Save a file. Select a folder to save a file, right?
Select folder to export a file.
Yes, I think you just open the folder, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me, I think, create file, exist, list files. Search files, list files. Yes, list file of subdirectories. Yes, you can select. No, I'm with a blank. Yes, I'm pretty sure you can, because I already have done that. So if you want to export, you have to create the name and then select the file that you want to. I think it's this. Okay. It's to save. Yes, you suggest the name of the file. Yes, CSV, and that will return this will open the file system, select file, and you can select the folder where you want to save the file. okay, and will return the folder with the file for this variable.
Okay.
Yes, it's the select file with the save action.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make a zoom out to see all the forms in the screen?
Here on the...
Yes, I believe that the person wants to, like, for example, we have 2 now, but if we had like 10 or 20.
No, but you can slide
Okay, so this
from one, and then you can minimize, maximize the folders.
Okay.
And I think there is a key rapid keyboard that will cascade them like that. But I'm not sure. I need to check the user guide for keyboard shortcuts to do that. But you can try it yourself. But
Okay.
so, but
But
no, you cannot
is...
zoom out. That's the main question was for zoom out,
Yeah.
and you cannot, but you can spread them around. Okay.
Okay, and then you can move.
Yes.
Great. So next question, again about Mesh Communicator, because when we talked about Mesh Communicator, a lot of questions appeared. Does Mesh Communicator use HTTP insert, update, delete requests to keep data in sync, in synchronization, or some other protocol?
Some other protocol was it's our logic. It's not HTTP request. So it's our own protocol, if you want to call it, to make sure that everything that is synced. But when you are using an action like where is it? Like SQL Advanced, and you are creating a query here, okay, we are not translating anything. We are just using the same query that you just use. Okay, let me elaborate a little bit more. If I'm talking about connecting directly to database, if you want to use Mesh Communicator with a web service, and I didn't talk about this yet, you can. Okay, there are some strange cases that you need to use an Active Directory to access a web service, so you can use Mesh Communicator to do that, and then you can insert, delete, etc. I don't know if I answered the question correctly. If you still have questions, please write again, okay?
Meanwhile, let's move to the next one, which is still about Mesh Communicator. So start Mesh like standard user and like as administrator is not the same, right? When I set Mesh Communicator like administrator and next time I start like standard user, my interface starts freezing and settings are not set, I think, right?
I think that is just a problem with your computer or with your permissions user. But the rule is use Mesh Communicator with the administration privilege. Okay, I strongly recommend that to use as administrator. And if you are using as a service, let me stop that. If you are running this as a service, that's why I talked about ODBC. ODBC driver running in system DSN because it's not in user space, so it's on system. That's why. So use as administrator, don't use as a user mode.
Okay. So next question, I believe it's also about Mesh. Can we use the actual router's IP address?
Oh yes, you can. If you have the luck of your ESP provider offers you a fixed IP address, why not? The problem is if you have an internet provider that change your IP address, that is a problem. That's why I talk about no DNS or no IP or something like that. But if you have a fixed IP address on your router, that's not a problem.
Great. So next question, and I believe it is the last one. So Mesh Communicator, is it working in Linux?
No.
No. Okay.
That was fast.
Simple answer.
Simple answer. No, we don't have Mesh Communicator for Linux. We have some, but okay. Mesh Communicator needs to be on a Windows PC. Let me show you. Mesh Communicator needs to be on a Windows PC. But if your database is on Linux, that's okay. But Mesh needs to run on a Windows. But you can connect to a database that is on other machine. Okay. So we have so little requests regarding Linux that it's not completely off the table, but we have so little requests that for now we will keep using just for Windows. Okay.
Great. So finally, last question. Import or export, write or read, for example, ini. Not really a question, but
the one, if that is a question, yes, you can read and write an ini file. Okay. Again, you need to use. Let's say you are using internal ini file. Something like that. What's your problem? One plus. And then you can have a section. Now let's say niche keyword IP, and the value can be, let's say, niche P. Niche P. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's fill in that record. I told you, but I didn't show you, that you can change everything regarding the communication profile. So I will get my IP address. Is it server? Okay. So if I go here, now I have an ini file. Not bad. See? So yes, you can write and you can read. So if I change that, save, and I change my application. Now I need an ini read. Okay, the file name will be the same. So folder.
Emmanuel, but in runtime, is it possible to select a folder for save file ini?
Yes, everything you see here with 3 dots can come from a variable. If it can come from a variable, you can use a file to selected files. Let's say to write. Okay, let's say we want to write to a specific folder. Files. Select file to save. Open, save. The suggested file can be, let's say, for download folder, the folder plus this one plus s.ini. Oops. Ini. File. And instead of using this, I'll use the variable. So same thing. Okay, let me close everything here. So see, it suggests the file name, and now I can select a different folder to save.
Great.
This works very well on Windows because you can do anything on Windows. On Windows 10, I don't know, I have to confirm. On iOS, this doesn't make much sense because you don't have like a file system per se. I think now they have. I have to try that to see if you can save on a specific folder. On Android 10, I don't know if they allow you to save anywhere else besides the download folder. That's a permission issue, not a Kalipso problem. It's related with permissions. Okay. So if you cannot do that, you can save the file to the P folder, and then you can copy the file from P folder to another folder. Okay.
Okay, great. Emmanuel, thank you very much for the session. We still have a lot of people here, so I think you could just tell us the topics that we're going to talk about in the next session, which is going to be the 22nd.
Okay, I want to talk about web services that I didn't talk about now. And with the web service, I will talk about the looper that is quite useful. And then I want to reuse some code. You saw that every time I want to use the camera, I was copying the select update thing, so that's not very practical. Okay, we can reuse this code, and that's the goal. So we can use global and local action sets to reuse the code. And when we are reusing the code, then we can have timers to deploy or to start a bit of code. Let's say synchronization with the database, checking if you have internet, checking if you have connection with Mesh Communicator, and so on. So web services, global action sets, and I need to check if I have time or not for printing. Probably I will not have time for printing, so I will put the printing part on the third session.
On the next session. Sure.
Yes.
So to all of you, like I said, we will send it later to all of you also the written answers to the questions. If any question was not answered, we will take a look to it closely, and we will let it there in the document as well. By the end of all the sessions, we will provide you the access to all the recorded sessions as well, of course. From us, from SysDev, we thank you for your presence, and we hope to see you on the 22nd, which is already on Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.